Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this edition of Bets and Buds. We're the Buds helping you cash your bets. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We are on the cusp of the playoffs here.
Yes,
the
sir.
association has had started up their
it
playoff
started
games.
last night.
Yeah, they started up their playoff games. Our Blues have clinched their playoff position for the first time in 2 seasons, being out of the playoffs. So I think if they had to miss the playoffs, they would only miss the playoffs 3 years in a row, one time in 46 years.
Yeah, and we've been alive for that. Unfortunately, we've been alive for that.
I was born at the tail end of that shit. So.
Yeah, that was back in the early 2000s when, man, they were terrible.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're like, you know what? It's a good little run here for the Blues to make it into the playoffs. Dominant performance last night against Utah.
Yes, without
Cardinals
a doubt.
offense looked well. I think they picked up the win today, I believe.
Did.
Yes, they believe against Houston. What was it,
4-1.
4-1. So everything's looking well and upbeat here in the St. Louis sports scene here.
It is. Battlehawks, what are they, 3-0 right now?
Who gives a shit? Fake ass football.
I don't know if they won that game the other night or not.
No, I believe they did. I believe they still are undefeated. I believe.
Okay.
But again, who cares? Who cares? All right, bro.
All right, let's start off with some NHL hockey.
Absolutely.
National Hockey League. So, like Jason was saying earlier, the Blues did clinch their playoff spot last night. Unfortunately, they clinched the A spot, which means they will be taking on the Winnipeg Jets, the President Trophy Winnipeg Jets. But like we were talking about just a little bit ago, there hasn't been a team to win the Cup since the 2013 Chicago Blackhawks was the last team to win the President's Cup and the trophy. So it doesn't happen often. It's only happened 8 times since they started handing the trophy
And we've
out.
watched that shit when we've won it many a times and been the first round, bounce and we're out.
First round
bounce and we're out.
So, yes, like I said, the Blues have made the playoffs. Like, they could have gotten the 7th seed last night if the Ducks hadn't totally shit the bed in the last minute of that game. The Ducks had a 2-1 lead against Minnesota. Kaprizov is actually back for Minnesota, so Minnesota could actually be a dangerous team again because they couldn't score with him out. But he scored both of their goals last night, scored it up under the last minute, and then they
30 seconds left.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
they brought in the Flower in overtime and let him do the overtime and shootout, and they ended up winning the game. So
good on them.
They beat the Blues by 1 point, so they will be taking on the Vegas Golden Knights.
You know what? And also, when you got to look at it like at the Canada's drought for winning the Stanley Cup too as well, I would rather play the Winnipeg Jets than the Vegas Knights.
So we can knock them Canadians right off.
Yes, exactly. So I'm good with that. I am good with that.
Okay, so we got Vegas versus Minnesota. Really, Vegas is the better team. They're the deeper team. I totally expect them to win that series in probably 5, if not 6 games. Then you've got, this one's going to be a good one, Dallas versus Colorado. I mean,
yeah, that's going to probably be the series of the first round, probably.
Well, no, I don't know. I think that's going to be the next one, which is LA versus Edmonton. They played last night, and they had 65 minutes in penalties in the first 2 periods before I guess they decided just to knock it off.
Well, I'd say they'd probably be the more intense playoff matchup.
They are definitely, this is the 4th season in a row that they're going to meet in the first round.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So there is definitely some
heated blood right there. Absolutely.
They've already come out and said that this is probably going to be a battle.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just nasty checking stuff you're not going to see that you normally don't see in the regular season. You get away with a little bit more in the postseason, and it's nastier. It just is nastier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's even like last night when you watch it, you can tell the refs kind of held their whistle a lot more last night in the Blues game, just because of the fact that they know how much was riding on that game.
Yeah, what was riding on that game. So over in the East, you've got the Washington Capitals locked down the first spot in the East, but we don't know who their opponent is yet because the NHL season's still got 2 days left, tonight and Thursday. So it could either be Montreal or Columbus. That's the only. Montreal has to win. If they do not win and Columbus wins the tiebreaker because they'll be tied in points. So it's really up to Montreal. They control their own destiny against the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. Then the other matchup, you got Toronto with Craig Berube going up against Ottawa. This is a battle of Canada right here. The Battle of Ontario. So This one's going to be nasty.
Austin Matthews just got his 400th goal.
He did. Austin Matthews scored his 400th last night. Brady Tkachuk is going to taste the playoffs for the first time in his career, and you know how he's nasty in the regular season.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Those Tkachuk boys are no joke.
The goalie has already come out and said this one's going to be a bloodbath for Toronto. Toronto's goalie already said this one's going to be a bloodbath.
Nice.
And then over in the East, you also got the Lightning versus the Panthers. This is the Battle of Florida here. So this ought to be a really good one. And then in the last matchup, you've got Carolina versus the New Jersey Devils. I don't know that the Devils are quite there yet. Carolina's got that suffocating defense.
Yeah, so. I mean, but you know what? It's playoff hockey. That's the thing. I mean, that's probably why, like we've talked about this before, why it's probably the best playoffs in all of sports.
You earn every bit of it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you don't know. I mean, like an A seed has a chance to legitimately win the cup. I mean, we've seen that when the LA Kings went on their run. I mean, like all it takes is getting a hot goalie that you just can go just ride that guy and get it ready to go, man.
And we've got the goalie. Like he's won the cup already. He knows how to get it done. He's coming off the Four Nations, winning the gold medal there. Yeah. So Bennington, like he's got the juice. Now in the Winnipeg, it's up to Hellebuck. They're going to ride or die with him. If he shows up and plays like he's never played before, they probably beat the Blues.
They just got to pepper him with shots. That's the main thing. They just got to make sure they.
But Hellebuck's record is so bad in the playoffs. Like he is just he's got no track record at all. So. I actually feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I like the chances. I like the chances a whole lot.
So right now, as it stands today on DraftKings, they've got the Stars at plus 700 to win it all. That's the best in the West. And then over in the East, they've got the Panthers at plus 800. So not the two teams I would have thought, especially with some of the seasons these other teams have had. But Florida was there last year. The Stars were there a couple of years ago. I mean, these teams definitely have the experience.
And again, it's a crapshoot when it comes to the playoffs. I mean, because it's any game. I mean, because momentum swings so drastically in hockey. It really does.
Lay down if you're feeling confident. The Blues are still going off at plus 4,000. So I mean, you put $100 down. That's $4,000 in your pocket if they did happen to pull it off.
Exactly, they happen to pull it off. It's worth your while.
It is. It is. Just a couple of other things before we move on to baseball. Kyrou ended up being the leader on the Blues in goals, 36 goals for the season. Thomas had another 60 assist season. That's back-to-back 60 assist seasons.
Back-to-back 80-point seasons. The first time since Brett Hull.
Yep, since Brett Hull.
96, 97, I think is what it was.
Yes, it's been a long time. And then Kyrou, this one was the surpriser. Kyrou led the team in plus-minus this year.
Oh, wow,
at plus 23. You know, I've shit on Kyrou for a long time.
He showed growth.
He did. He actually turned his game around this year. I mean, when you're a plus 23, I don't care what they say about plus minus. It does mean a little bit. Because if you're a minus 40, that means you've given up a lot of fucking goals.
Right, exactly.
You're on the ice.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
And then the other thing about Thomas, this was an interesting one I found looking around on the internet today at the stats. For as far as centermen with face-off, that qualify for the face-off percentage, Thomas finished at 54.8%, which was about 25th in the league. But the only person to score more points than him in the top 25 and had a higher percentage was Sidney Crosby.
Oh, wow. Yeah, which Sid, Sid who broke Gretzky's record, in addition to Ovechkin breaking his record. Sid coming in the same year as Ovechkin broke Gretzky's record for the longest averaging points per game for 20 years in a row. Yeah, points per game.
Yeah, no, if any time you can be put in the same conversation as Sid the Kid, I mean, the guy's a legit first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
And you got a Gretzky record that you're breaking. I mean, shit. I mean, that. I mean,
that just shows the growth for Thomas this year too. Like he has really turned into in the last 2 years. Actually, he's
become that ultimate playmaker that we've been looking for. And again, I think we got a little impatient because he was young. I mean,
he was young.
And then we got to give it up to Doug Army because he said we were in a retool mode, not a rebuild mode.
Yep. And a lot of
people were kind of skeptical of it, but I mean now you got Balduke, you got Snuggeroo in the mix with this Braden Shin still here, Kevin Falk, Parayko. You
And
got a
then
nice mixture.
You even brought in Cam Fowler, who's under contract for another year for next year.
Right.
And then the defense is gonna change this offseason, but we're not worried about that. It's playoff hockey.
Yeah, it's playoff hockey.
Baby.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
All right, moving on to the Cardinals. Let's talk a little Cardinals. They got back to 500 today, 9-9.
Yeah.
So it is early in the season, but that's 2 series wins in a row.
Yes.
So.
And that was always the old Tony La Russa philosophy: win your series.
Yeah, that's 600%.
Exactly, because if you win the series and you're over 500, I mean, if you're plus 500 in series wins by the end of the season, that means plus 500 record, especially when you're doing interdivision games too as well. So that makes a big, big difference.
So coming into today, obviously these stats don't reflect today's games at all, but as of last night, Brendan Donovan was leading all of baseball in batting average at 382.
Yeah, 382. I saw 3. Oh, yeah, that was probably after last night. Because the night before they got shut. Yeah, because they got shut out last night because he was at 391.
He's got 6 doubles, 26 hits. I mean, an on base percentage over 400, an OPS plus.
He's pretty much leading the Cardinals in almost every offensive statistical stat.
Yeah, pretty much, except for 2.
Except for, I think Lars Nootbaar is leading in OPS, I believe, isn't he?
Yes. Because it can't be on base percentages more. His batting average has really sunk down there lately.
But he's getting on base because he has some of the best plate discipline in baseball.
He does. He's got 13 walks already this year in 18 games. So Donovan also has 6 doubles for the season. And he hit his second home run the other day. I mean, he's got a little pop in that.
Oh yeah, he's a solid ball player.
This was the crazy one. So Herrera got hurt 5-6 games ago. Well, he's only played in 7 games out of the 18 so far this season, but he still leads the Cardinals in home runs with 4 and RBIs with 11.
And 3 of them were in one game.
Yeah, 3 of them were in one game. It's kind of nuts. And this was another one that kind of caught my eye. Contreras, still no errors over at first base this year.
Nice. Well,
even though he's struggling at the plate.
But you know what? He's come out of it a little bit the last few games. He started to get some hits now.
That average has almost creeped up to 200 now.
Yeah, he's getting there almost to 200, so it's going to come out of it. In the back of that baseball card, like we talked about before with baseball, it's going to end up looking like how it normally looks during the course of their career. The biggest thing, too, as well with Contreras is, he's solid, as far as the fielding wise, and he's got that solid bat. That he's going to find his way there, and the more comfortability he gets at first base, that's going to just help him out even more.
He's had 83 chances. I would have expected him to make at least 1 error, but
he's been solid.
Nobody on the Cardinals has more than 1 error so far, and I believe they only have 7 as a team right now.
They've been playing crisp baseball. As far as the pitching, the only thing I really say is that has been a little bit,
I got some. Yeah,
disappointing has been the bit relief pitching.
And one starting pitcher. Miles Michaelis is just terrible right now.
Yeah.
He's the 13 innings pitched. He's given up 13 runs.
Yeah, because Matt Liebertor was part of that shutout game the other night. Well, he had 7 shutout innings the other night.
Liebertor, he's got 18 innings pitched right now. He's 1-1. His ERA is 3.93. He's not been terrible. This is about what you expect from a 4-starter.
Yep.
The one that's Palante is really shaping up to be. He might turn into that guy.
Yeah, Palante. I've been happy with what I've seen out of Sonny Gray. He's been getting good run support, but he's all.
He has, but if you win, you're 4 out of 4 stars as a team. You won all the stars,
right?
So
you can't really be complaining about that.
No, you cannot. So Palante kicking that 2.20 ERA to lead the starting pitchers there. Gray's just right behind. Phil Matan, that comes out of the bullpen. He's pitched 8.1 innings so far this year, hasn't given up an earned run.
Nice.
I think he's only given up 3 hits so far. He's been really solid. Leahy's been pretty good with a 1.69 ERA. And then Matz has actually been really good out of the bullpen.
That's why they put him in the bullpen. He's a great long reliever.
But didn't they say they're going to do this 6-man rotation here coming up on the next turn?
They talked about it.
Did they renege on that?
I don't know. We'll see what happens because I don't know. They talked about it, but once they get in the clubhouse moves, sometimes those things get kind of.
Yeah, because Matz, he's looked really good out of that pen this year.
Oh yeah, he was great. He looked good out of pen last year. He was a great long reliever.
Yep.
Great long reliever.
He was.
So the Cardinals are going to do what the Cardinals are going to do right now. So we'll see as the season progresses. Usually, it's Memorial Day weekend. That's usually what we're looking. That's usually the sights you set with your baseball team to say, all right, this is the team we have going in this year. That's where you kind of get the full identity. But offensively, they look nice because they're not relying on home runs. You're not relying on fluky because I did the one year years ago when they had they led the major leagues in like two out hits.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean, and then runners in scoring position, and those things are kind of going to dry up at some point. So they've kind of had a balanced offensive approach. I mean, it's not like one person they've really been leaning on. I mean, everybody's
if you look at the stats, I mean, everybody is contributing.
Yeah, everybody's contributing. So I like what I see right now with the mixture of this team.
Okay.
So. Yeah, so I mean, let's see. Let's go Cardinals.
All right, the other thing I got down here is, did you hear that the Tennessee quarterback, Ema, how do you say his name?
Nico Ilamuva.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he has moved on to UCLA.
Oh, did he go to UCLA?
Yes.
Back home, he's an LA boy. So
UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was wondering if there was going to be some collusion with that point because if the coaches were going to take a stand because, I mean, this is what shows as far as the NIL and players not getting paid. It's necessary for the college players to get paid. They do deserve to get paid with how much money is in the sport. The biggest issue is that we can't have these teenagers holding these universities.
No, you really can't. I mean, it looks bad. It's a bad look.
I mean, because it was after the spring game that he's not reporting to practice, everything else like that. So, now what does Tennessee have to do with quarterback? Plus him going into UCLA this late, and he's going to go through that trying to learn the playbook, get the rhythm with the offensive receivers and running backs and linemen, et cetera.
Now, wasn't they saying, weren't they trying to strong-arm him before the bowl game?
No, he was trying to strong arm the university.
The university before the bowl game.
Yeah, he was going to try to strong arm the university before the bowl games. I mean, this has kind of been going on for a while behind the scenes, quietly kept. And so, I mean, good on Josh Heupel for taking a stand and saying, you know what, screw you, because of the rules that they have in place that you could, during the second, well, the other big problem is they shouldn't have another transfer portal after spring games.
Right.
That does not make sense at all. It's like once you've made it through the spring, you're with that team. I mean, and so until somebody steps in and makes some parameters and guidelines behind this whole movement, because that's what keeps the NFL from being KY.
I mean, this thing is still fairly young now, though, right?
I mean, we're going on we're going on 5 years now. At this point, I mean, there should be somebody.
You know, the NCAA moves so damn glacial, and
but the thing is, the NCAA really isn't even involved with this at this point. They're not really. The NCAA gets scapegoated for a lot of the problems with it because of how long they lacked addressing the issue.
Their feet.
Yeah, and they lacked addressing the issue. But I mean, really, somebody needs to step in at some point. There needs to be a governing body of some capacity that comes in. And really, I think what it all boils down to is the problem is because football needs to be removed from the rest of college sports. Because when you look at the money in football compared to all the other college sports, it's so much more of a vast.
I mean, it funds other.
Yes, it does.
Sports,
I mean, I was telling my daughter that today. I said, you know what? Here's the thing. You're a college basketball. If you want to be a college basketball player, if you want to be a bowler, if you want to be on the road team, all that type of stuff. People that say, oh, why does the football team get this? Why does the basketball team get that? Well, those two sports on the men's side pay for that revenue that allows your kids. So you better hope you have a good basketball or football team. Or guess what? Your kid's not shooting on the rifle team in West Virginia or Arkansas or wherever the hell they do have the top rifle teams in the country. You know, that's just how it goes. Because I was out training with her today, and we saw we were looking out to see if the track was available, and I saw I was like, oh, at first I thought it was a soccer team. I was like, oh, that's a rugby team. She's like, they got rugby out here? I was like, yeah. I was like, girl, it's college sports. They got everything out there. I mean, there's all type of sports that they have collegiately that perform. So, you know.
All right, there was one last thing I want to talk about. 40 years ago yesterday was the most legendary boxing fight ever, like the baddest 8 minutes of all time. Hagler versus Hearns. Have you ever watched that fight? Jason?
Oh yeah, many times. Many times.
That was just an iconic fight.
That was when boxing was at the height of all.
Oh, there was no doubt about it.
But that whole division was so ridiculous because that's when you had Roberto Duran, you had Sugar Ray Leonard, you had Marvin Hagler, and you had Tommy Hearns. I mean, just those four alone right there made that. I mean, it was. And then that's not even to mention the Aaron Pryors of the world who came in towards the end of those guys' career. I mean, who was an explosive fighter himself. So I mean, that was one hell of a fight.
If you've never watched that fight, I implore you to look it up on YouTube. Like I said, the fight's only 3 rounds.
Yeah, so if you want to see some action-packed fighting, I mean that's just how you do it.
It's absolutely insane.
That's how you do it right there. Absolutely.
All right, that's all I got, brother.
All right, so I'm going to dive into the association here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this real quick because last night we had the play-in game. The play-in game we had between Golden State and Memphis. Golden State, Memphis.
Or Memphis, that's it.
Golden State, Memphis. So we had Playoff Jimmy Butler. Playoff Jimmy Butler is a bad man. He is a bad 38 points. Stephen Curry had 35 points. Even with the wrist wrap on him, with the thumb injury, everything, he's still stroking threes like no tomorrow.
Yeah, it worked for me. Help me hit a bet last night.
So Golden State's going to be a deadly team, and so they're going to be playing against Minnesota. I believe is what. No. They play the Houston Rockets. So they're going to play. So in their playing game, the Golden State's going to play the Houston Rockets because the Lakers are going to play Minnesota.
Okay.
And so tonight we actually have the Bulls are going to play the Miami Heat, and then we got the Dallas Mavericks versus Sacramento Kings. So that's what's going on in the association tonight for the play-in games. To go in to kind of solidify, but they still then we have to after that because Orlando also lost to Orlando beat the hell out of the Atlanta Hawks last night too as well. So that was the other side of that play-in game matchups. So. Atlanta still has.
I see how it works.
So Atlanta basically plays the winner of the game tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, to get that 8th seed.
All right.
And vice versa on the west side. So I believe it's like the winner between Dallas and Sacramento is going to play. Who was at the? Memphis. So Memphis can still get in. Atlanta can still get in, okay. And the winner, they're going to play the winners of the matchups tonight to play for the AC.
Gotcha.
It's kind of an interesting twist. I kind of like how they've done that. I like to kind of add a little bit more juice.
I wasn't sure how they actually did that.
I kind of like how they did the juice add that way for the last four spots there that you're going to get in the playoff position there. So yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting matchups.
Well, that makes a little more sense than the NCAA how they do their playing games, where they have the guys playing for an 11 seed.
Yeah, I mean I don't know how they randomly pick an 11 seed to get in. Like they did. I mean, but that's NCAA.
But that is interesting. I've never really paid attention.
Yeah,
to
so
that.
it's a good twist on how they're going to do that.
This is like the third year they've been doing this.
Yeah, this is the third year. This is actually the fourth year they've been doing it. Fourth or fifth year, maybe fifth year because Golden State going into last night was 0-3 in playing games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were 0-3 in playing games, but they got playoff Jimmy Butler right now, and I mean, man, they look good with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green with the defensive things they had. Jimmy Butler being the clutch how he is, and then Steph Curry. I mean, just there's nothing you can say about this dude anymore. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He is the greatest shooter of all time. I mean, absolutely. He got fouled towards the end of the game there. I mean, it was he was like 11-11 from free throws. He got the ball in his hands, and there was nothing they could do about it. Once they fouled him, I mean, he went in, and you might as well chalk it up.
Right.
Those are 2 points. I mean, they just, especially in those moments, he could do that with his eyes closed.
I liked it because he was the last leg in my three-way leg.
Oh, yeah, man. So, I mean, the association's going to be cooking right now. I know, I think Boston Celtics are favored. I think they're like plus, what I say, was it 400 or 500? Like, I think I saw on FanDuel last time I looked. I'm saying minus 400 or 500. I think the last time they win.
I can check real quick.
Yeah, so the Celtics are the favorites to win that there. Lakers are second favorites in the West. I think at plus 700. And then you had OKC was the favorites to come out of the West, they had a phenomenal season. Let's see, they had a little bit of playoff experience last year, which is a huge thing because it's such a change when you go from night after night playing this team one night, this team the next night, this team the next night, and you're going in these different cities. But when you start going and playing and have to focus on one team, like I was listening to an interview with Quentin Richardson. He was one of the former Duke great, played with the Clippers and Orlando Magic for a while. And he said, man, like when you get into the playoffs, though, like you get a book this thick against your matchup because you're going to be about to see this team at least minimum four times in a row. So you're going to learn all their plays, learn all their tendencies, learn who to foul, learn who not to foul. Like there's so many things intricacy-wise of a playoff game in the NBA that changes from playing for a regular season to a playoff matchup. That's very similar to how I'm sure in hockey, because just like I said, once you get that familiarity of a team playing back-to-back,
you're going to see them so many times in a week.
Exactly, and that changes a lot. I mean, even the animosity, the adrenaline, it's everything that goes into that
especially
matchup.
What depends on the game too, like what happened in the game before.
Right, exactly. What happened in the game before. What happened in the game after? Who got psychologically broken? There's so many things that get involved with that.
So DraftKings has got the Thunder at plus 165, and then the Celtics at plus 190.
Yeah, 190. There we go.
And then you got the Lakers at plus 1,400.
1,400.
Yep,
okay,
1,400.
So DraftKings. So that's a lot higher than what? Because I know
Cavaliers at plus 7.
Yeah, plus 7. It's weird because a lot of people don't have faith in the Cavs, even though they had the best record all season long. But a lot of people do not have faith in the Cavs at all. So we got some good matchups. I know we got the Knicks and the Pistons are going to be matched up. We got the Buccaneers and the Pacers going to be matched up. Minnesota and the Lakers are going to be matched up. And then you have who's that on the West side?
Mavericks.
Yeah. No, the Mavericks aren't in yet because the Mavericks have to. The Mavericks have to win tonight. The Mavericks have to win tonight. So you've got shit.
I got it right here. Hold on.
Clippers, and
Rockets,
Rockets
Warriors, Lakers, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Clippers.
Yeah, Nuggets, Clippers. That was the other one. I knew there was one that was already a fixed game that was already in there. So yes, I mean I think it's gonna be great, exciting NBA playoffs, especially compared to I'm 45 years old, so I remember watching as a little kid, and you knew when you got into the playoffs there was like 3 teams that had a chance to win it. Right now the shit's wide the hell open.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I mean, there's nobody can say outside of probably the Celtics. That's probably the only team you can say is guaranteed chance to win that. And so that being said, I did throw together a little parlay for this game, for the play-in game, one of the play-in games tonight. So, but with the Bulls and Heat game, I got Nikola Vucevic plus 20 points. I got Bam Adebayo plus 25 points, and I got a Tyler Hero plus 5 3-pointers. That pays out at plus 32.73. Plus 32.73. Yeah, so that's my smoking token hot parlay going in for the play-in game tonight for the association.
Boy, that's a lot of 3-pointers.
Yeah, but that's what they shoot on. But that's what they shoot now, though, man. That's the thing. I mean, you got these guys take no less than if you're a 3-point shooter, you're going to take no less than 10 threes. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially in a playoff game. So everything gets bumped up and ramped up in the playoffs. So, he's going to take no less and that's through FanDuel, by the way. Yeah, so, they're going to take no less than 10 threes most of the time because, that's what they do. The analytics say 3 points is worth more than 2 points. So if you're going to take that shot from outside, you might as well take that shot behind the line as opposed to. And these guys don't even. Like I said, Steph Curry changed the game,
he chucks
man.
Him from
he changed the game, man. Because these dudes have. They don't pause to pull up from the logo.
Right.
They'll go back from the side, where you check in at on the sidelines. They will literally be 10 feet out from that point where they check in at and just pull up without pause. And knock it down.
Times.
And knock it down now. It's crazy. It's almost like it's the same shot as hitting the free throws for some of these guys, man. It's crazy. It's insane. So, yeah, I just went out on a limb on that one because, Tyler Hero, especially with no playoff Jimmy Butler down there in Miami anymore.
Yeah,
so,
he's
going to have to go out for them to have a chance to do anything. So, let's see what happens.
That's a good pop, though, 32.73.
Yeah, 32.73. So, let's see what happens.
Mine last time was only plus 867.
Really?
So, yeah.
You know me, brother. I can't help it. I go swing for the fences.
Swinging for the fences. All right, brother. That's all I got.
All right, brother. Any MotoGP today, Dave?
Yeah, what you got on MotoGP?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? Oh, 2 weeks out, huh?
All right, so I know next week so next Thursday is the NFL draft. So we shoot this on Wednesday. So hopefully we'll get this popped up hopefully before draft time next week because I will do a mock draft. I'm going to do a little mock draft at least. I know I'm going to at least do the top 10.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through at least the top 10 of my mock draft. I've been kind of collecting my information and intel. I've been building this up for the last few weeks. Figured to kind of hold off right now because all the other sports are kind of cooking right now. The draft will be hot and heavy right now. Which is funny because that's what shows you the power of the NFL because their draft is going to compete and probably outdo the ratings of the playoffs.
Probably most of the NHL games.
NHL and NBA. And NHL and NBA. Their ratings for the draft are going to outdo both of those playoff sports. That are
I wonder if they've set them up. I haven't seen the NHL schedule yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is no games on Thursday or like one game.
Well, next week, who knows? I'm sure they're going to have to play something.
Because the NHL does that sometimes. They set it up to where you'll only get one game on a certain night.
But then the draft's still going to be Friday and Saturday too as well. So it's not like you can avoid it.
It's really that Thursday.
It's not like you can avoid it. They already took Christmas, from the NBA. So just got to keep going with the big monster that the NFL is. And so we'll dive into that. Keep that action going for you guys. Talking about a little bit more, some of these college athletes that I've gotten myself more familiar with as I've dove back into college football as well. And it should be and kind of knowing the fits and needs of teams.
I read through a top 75 prospect article the other day, and I was like, once I got around 30.
No, yeah, because then you start really searching, like, okay, did I see this dude play at all?
Yeah, do I even know who this is?
Yeah, because it's hard, because there's so many teams. It was hard to keep up with everybody. But, that's what we got for this week. So make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, add to the comment section. We're going to keep producing this content for you guys here. Keep trucking along with all these sports that we like to dive into while we're in the offseason of the NFL. So, let's keep this party going for you guys and keep that train rolling. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Light.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.